Like grandma after making a poo on the couch despite being house trained. Atari needs to be put down. Atari is a one-hit wonder that somehow, despite general public apathy, keeps popping up here and there over the years to make everyone feel sorry for them. Their most recent atrocity is them firmly motorboating the blue waffle crotch of AI to promote its latest baffling venture, some sort of Atari-themed love hotel.
Something bold is rising in downtown Phoenix, the world's first Atari hotel.
The stupid text-to-speech thing doesn't even pronounce the name of the company properly. Goes to show how much they actually care. This looks like a generic AI-generated hellscape, because that's exactly what it is. The people all kind of warp around like the demons I see in the back of my eyelids. This guy's clothes change color, one person slowly disappears, and there's this disgusting monstrosity coming down the escalator after getting its dick sucked by AI-generated Queen Elizabeth.
Sneezy. Very well.
Recharge in next-gen suites, where comfort meets the latest in gaming and streaming tech.
As opposed to current gen suites? Do you get higher resolution dreams in there or something? It seems like an AI wrote the script for this thing along with doing everything else.
Imagined for a new generation. Be a part of it with as little as $500. You can own a piece of Atari Hotels Phoenix.
You've heard that right. For as little as $500, you can get rug pulled when this project eventually gets scrapped and they take off with investors' money. There's no way this thing is getting built as planned, if it gets built at all. And if, by the grace of the baby Jesus, something actually comes from this, it won't look anything like this AI slop. This dumb trailer got me thinking a lot about what happened to Atari. They used to be the big boys. There were home game consoles before Atari got involved in the business, like the Magnavox Odyssey and Fairchild Channel F, but the Atari 2600 ate all their asses when it came out. This console laid the foundation for the home video game market as we know it. It pioneered the concept of cartridge-based video games, enabling people to buy several different games that all worked on one machine, which has been the standard ever since. The iconic wood panel design and simple joystick are so deeply embedded in pop culture, people who have never played a video game in their life recognize the thing. The 2600 is as synonymous to video games as Riley Reid is to sucking dick. The fact that this legendary company that did so much good for my favorite hobby is so obscenely incompetent is a tough fat nut to swallow. Since the 2600, Atari really hasn't done anything besides fail sideways. I know a lot of people hold them in high regard, and their positive impact on gaming can't be denied, but I'm honestly surprised they're still around. They're like a band that put all their best ideas in their first album, and all their follow-ups never had the same impact. Their first attempt at a new generation console, the 5200, was a commercial failure. It had an infamously bad controller and no backwards compatibility. The 7800 improved on some aspects like adding backwards compatibility, and was generally well received, although it did struggle against the NES, but that's not a surprise considering how much of a juggernaut that console was. Ever since, Atari has essentially been re-releasing the exact same library that they started with. There's the Atari collection on PS1 and Saturn, that includes games like Asteroids, Centipede, and Missile Command. Atari Anthology for the PS2 features Asteroids, Centipede, and Missile Command. The Atari Flashback series for the 360 featured never-before-seen all-time classics like Asteroids, Centipede, and Missile Command. They are also way too eager to slap their name on dozens of poor-quality third-party products that released over the last 2 decades. I know Atari had nothing to do with manufacturing these things, but all it would take is one non-lobotomite to test one of them to realize putting this on the market with the Atari logo printed on it would damage their reputation. At Games is well known among retro gaming enthusiasts for some of the shittiest plug-and-play emulation devices ever sold. They're responsible for the horrendous Mini Genesis abortion that was infamous for its cheap build quality and comically bad soundtrack emulation.
No time for guessing, follow my daddy style.
The Flashback series is At Game's big Atari product, and they somehow managed to squirt out 12 of them, with each iteration very incrementally improving upon the last. There's no way At Games weren't holding back certain features in games in order to add them to an updated Flashback console. These are 2600 emulation machines. There's no reason the entire library can't fit on one single release. Atari takes their hardware releases more seriously these days. The 2600 Plus is actually a pretty cool device. It can play original 2600 and 7800 cartridges and has HDMI. Problem here is it's nearly $200. That's a crazy price for Atari emulation, even considering the novelty of the unit itself. My microwave display can emulate these games, and that was free because I stole it. In October of 2025, Atari released the GameStation Go, their entry into the retro handheld space. Just like the Atari Plus, this is a pretty cool device that just doesn't need to exist. First impressions are great. It has a trackball, dial thing, and keypad, so it covers the entire gamut of Atari console inputs. But it has the same problem as the 2600 Plus. It's nearly $200 to play games you could emulate on a pregnancy test, and I intend to do just that. China has already beat them to this market by over 10 years. Handheld emulation devices are more affordable and capable than they've ever been. An RG35XX is around $50 and covers pretty much any normal person's emulation needs, and it easily plays everything Atari has ever made. You can spend a bit more for more features, but you'll get the same or better experience and still not spend $200 to match the GameStation Go. The GameStation Go might still end up being a success since it has a retail presence and recognizable branding, and you don't have to wait a month for it to ship from China. The varied inputs also make possible homebrew software on it pretty intriguing. It's just so expensive for what it offers. Atari has pivoted strictly into leveraging its older catalog, acquiring other companies' classic libraries, buying remaster specialist studios like Night Dive, and to their credit, this strategy is slowly working out for them. Atari has been narrowing its net losses over time, and if they keep doing what they're doing, they'll eventually be in the black. Once you go black, you never go back. Which is why it's so baffling to me that they would attempt such an obvious incoming failure. They've been slowly clawing their way to profitability over the last few years. If they had just kept doing what they're doing, they would probably be fine. But instead, they shoot themselves in the foot starting what seems to be an obvious scam. Using AI to generate your entire marketing pitch was incredibly stupid. People are already sick of AI, and I know there are tons of people out there that click off of a video the second they hear a generic AI voiceover. The only reason Atari ever seems to pop up on my radar is when they do something stupid. The foundation they built for the gaming industry is invaluable, but as they exist right now, the company is kind of embarrassing. Thanks for watching to the end. If you liked the video, I would appreciate a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.